Oh, that's still.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I know that, that's odd. The last minutes, the minutes, the other day.
I need to see how many pages of minutes from that. Because the one before was 20. People talk over.
It's gotta be fair.
Right, really, you're trying to identify voices. Because I was here, I came in.
Welcome to the March 28th Village of Shawnee Hills Council meeting. All that can, please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Here.
Here.
Present.
Here.
Here,
All right, approval of the minutes from March 14th. Anyone with anything on page 1? Page 2?
Yes. Next to the last paragraph down from the end, it's the fourth sentence in where it says we are going to keep a 100-yard view of what our processes are,
Oh,
and the first R should be OUR.
All right, page 3?
yes, at the pro tem report where it says, Thatcher said have been receiving letter, it should be letters and copies.
Page 4?
I read.
Page 5? And page 6. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from March 14th?
So moved.
Second,
Kate,
Yes.
Ivan,
yes.
Rosa,
Yes.
Thatcher,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
yes,
Do I have approval of the agenda?
I make a motion to add resolution 03-2022 to the agenda.
Need a second.
Second.
Kate,
Yes.
Ivan,
Yes.
Rosa,
Yes.
Thatcher,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
yes,
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
second,
Kate,
Yes.
Ivan,
Yes.
Rosa,
Yes.
Thatcher,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
yes.
All right, Brian,
Mayor,
you're welcome.
keeping with my theme from last time, the majority of the work done zoning related. I was at the March 14th Town Hall meeting, the March 22nd Planning Commission meeting, and Mark and I worked on some miscellaneous zoning things in and around those dates on some different issues. Also, I worked on that ordinance 10/2022, which is that ordinance establishing a part-time seasonal position. And last but not least, with respect to the ordinances, I know there's the ordinance 08/2022, an ordinance vacating the unimproved East Island Drive right away. I don't know if anyone has any updates on there. Maybe Russ does. I had heard that maybe that the petitioners were going to withdraw that because they wanted to submit an amended petition. I don't know if anything was followed up on that or not, but maybe Mark knew. Or maybe he's here to talk to us about that, so that might help too, but I had heard that was gonna be the case, so I just wanted to throw that out there just in case before you get maybe to read that and vote on it, so.
We'll do it then.
Talk about it now? Sure.
Will do. All right, Sean.
That was discussed with members of the council and with Russ. But I received emails from the majority of the council as well as the mayor. And I would just like to say thank you for those responses. They were very well thought out and I appreciate them. And I do not think that we will this time be removing and amending and submitting a new ordinance at this time. We don't plan to submit another ordinance moving forward. I think we plan to let this one be voted on and that will be the decision that we will accept
Any questions? Thank you, John.
That's all I have. If you have any questions, happy to answer.
Anyone? All right, thank you, Brian. Russ?
All right, now that you said it's my turn, it can be my turn. Miranda Homes, that's 90% of my time, between residents and meetings with the town hall and the planning and zoning meeting. I haven't heard from them since the planning and zoning meeting, so I don't know what they took feedback wise and what they're planning on doing. So with that, met with Chris about paving. We drove just about every single street in the village, found a bunch that need repaired. Hope to have a package for bid soon. I'm hoping to have it for UST in April. We decided we are not going to pave Osage, Westview, or West Mohawk at this time because of the looming projects. If council decides otherwise, let me know and we'll look at those. There are some areas, I know Osage and Shawnee Trail, that the road's failing a bit from some drainage issues. We'll probably address that, but I don't know if we're gonna do any heavy paving or anything there. Fire hydrants, moving forward with those. I met with the fire department. We located 6 locations, so the 5 that were approved in an alternate location. A few of the locations that we had picked with the fire department are going to come in should come in significantly less than what we were thinking about, the $7,000 a piece. So we might, working with the same amount of money allotted, we might be able to actually do all 6 fire hydrants. So I'll get that from Chris and get that back to you all. Dealt with the sinkhole on Wyandotte. Richard patched several roads as well. With that, there were a couple potholes that the cold patch probably isn't going to stay in long. We'll keep on top of it, keep patching them as we can, but some of them aren't deep enough. It's like a layer of pavement came off, but we'll keep patching them as much as we can, and then most of those areas are included in the paving. There were a couple other areas, commercial drives that butt up against Dublin Road or Dublin Road, that the commercial properties need to repair their drive. We did send notices out. I know the one across from Baker's was pretty bad. So that's being addressed. Just ask you being patient with that because they're not really making asphalt right now. So we got to wait until it warms up for them to make the asphalt to be able to fix it. Once that happens, that should get fixed. We did serve the owner of the property at Shawnee Square with a list of existing code violations. Hoping to avoid court, hope we can get the issues dealt with before we start an official process. Being he was a new owner, stepped into a situation that the area's been blight for years. We gave him a little bit of an opportunity. We sat down with him and listed out what was wrong, what he needed to do, put it in a document, sent it off. He thanked us for it, so we'll see what happens in the next couple months. Met with Ohio Groundskeeping. If you haven't noticed, they've been up there working just about every single day. They do have approved plans from the county. And they have, like I said, they've been up there working. They gave me a date of Memorial Day done with seed on the ground. We're going to hold them to that, and they know we're going to hold them to that. So we're going to continue watching to make sure that they are up there working and making progress.
I was going to, not interrupting you, Russ, on the silt line fence in the rear, it needs to be addressed, looked at again. It's not holding, it's just flattening in the wind.
And they tore a chunk of it out too.
Okay.
And that's the problem with those fences at the construction sites. They get beat up by the wind and machinery. And the village actually installed that. So
okay.
We'll visit that with them. I'm meeting with Equity tomorrow. They'll be in high mobilization. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to find out tomorrow. They've been doing a lot of work down there, and I know they're going to kick it in gear and really start working down there. We still need to address the traffic light and crosswalk agreements. Hopefully we'll have something for you guys soon. I think the ball's back in Equity's court at this time. If the weather cooperates ever, we'll be looking at banners and village landscape over the next few weeks. I did meet with Craig Baldridge, who's on planning and zoning. He brought up a program that we're going to explore, America in Bloom. It puts residents at the helm of some village landscaping and upgrades in that, and provides them with expert advice and things for our Main Street areas and green spaces. So more to come on that. Then Arbor Day, because we are now Tree City USA, one of the requirements is that we have an Arbor Day celebration. So we're going to have our small scale Arbor Day celebration April 16th at noon in the park, right after the Civic Easter egg hunt. I think Mayor Matthews will be planting a tree. And hopefully if we get them in time, we'll have some trees to pass out to the kids to plant too.
And that's better, right? Rob is digging the hole first and then I'm just physically putting the tree in.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that,
Yeah, I
thought we
figured
agreed
I
on.
figured we were going that route.
And the tractor died this morning, so that'll be addressed. I think it's just too cold for it to start. But any administrative questions before I change over? I don't spin around or anything, or? The chief report, met with the Civic. We will be reviving Safety Day this summer. Dates and times will be forthcoming. I know they're meeting tomorrow. I have an officer that's going to handle the planning of that event. We received a grant for body armor from the Attorney General's office. The total reimbursement amount was $2,753.48. 970-ish was our portion. It was three sets of body armor for full-time guys. Work with equipment purchase with finance regarding changing over to e-citation. So the state of Ohio is nudging municipal courts and police departments away from handwritten citations. Years ago, there was grant and money available to do it. We had mayor's court, and Delaware City Municipal Court wasn't set to handle that. Now that they are, there's no grant for the equipment anymore. So that was not to exceed $2,500 for 4 printers and 2 brackets to mount them in the cars. The software is free, it comes from the state. It's a no-brainer. I mean, it eliminates mistakes. It takes away the drive time from going up to court and dropping things off. And so we'll be getting that, moving forward with that. We did receive our certification for our compliance with the latest Ohio Collaborative law enforcement certification standards. Our department continues to be in full compliance with the collaborative. I think there'll be 2 more standards coming out sometime this year. I believe juvenile related. Lexipol, our agency, received gold standard recognition for the 4th quarter of 2021 and the entirety of 2021, which is the highest level of compliance with Lexipol. We submitted compliance documentation to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children Missing Kids Readiness Program. I expect our documentation to be in line with their standards, and soon we'll be joining there's only 2 other departments in the state of Ohio that have the certification. And I took an excerpt from their website. So the Missing Kids Readiness Program promotes policies and best practices for responding to calls of missing and sexually exploited children. Member agencies are publicly recognized by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children for meeting essential training and policy elements demonstrating preparedness for responding to a missing or sexually exploited child incident. And there's no fees. So we would be the 3rd agency in the state to have that accreditation. Now for the fun one. I apologize for springing the ordinance that we added to, or the resolution we added to the agenda today. Our 2016 police cruiser is sitting at a little over 100,000 miles on it. It needs a transmission, and the places we've called quote us anywhere between $6,000 and $8,000. I don't want to go down the same road we did with the Charger. And then what I don't want to do to our other cars, what we did when the Charger went down, and that was the 2017 racking up miles because it just constantly ran shift after shift. We had a good rotation on cars there for a while. We got out of that. So we've been this is the first car we purchased in 5 years. What was the 21 we just got. So we kind of put a hurdle in that process and put us behind the 8 ball now. Speaking with finance, replacement of that cruiser instead of fixing it, I think is the smartest option. I believe finance agreed. We went back and forth trying to find a cruiser. If we ordered one today from Ford, well, we can't order one today from Ford because it closed Friday. But if we were to order one from Ford, we're at 58 weeks. There's 52 weeks in a year, so we can do the math on that. It's not looking good, and they're only producing 12,500 cars for the entire country this year. So We searched for a car within probably 2-3 states, well, around us. We found one, and it's sitting at Par Public Safety that they had purchased to upfit for their, bless you, and purchased for their demo car, and it's a black Ford Explorer, just like the cars we have. It's about 90% finished. They don't want to wait for us to go back and forth on it, that they would like to, at this point, get rid of it. So hence why we added it tonight, and hopefully we can vote on it tonight. Again, I apologize. I know everyone hates emergencies and we hate adding things to agendas as it is. But this is something we absolutely either need to move. I need to have a decision to Par tomorrow if we want to go with the cruiser. So because the K9 is the primary user of that car, we were saving and fundraising to purchase a car or half a car with the village. I do want to kind of add the caveat that this puts us at 4 cars. We've had 4 cars. We're not adding a car. We didn't add a car for the dog. This is a cruiser that was in our fleet, even if the dog's not here. 4 cars. But because the K9 primarily uses it, I offered to finance that we can pay the first 12 months worth of payments out of the K9 fund, because that's what we've been fundraising for. With that, I have a donation that we got from Third Base Pine House from our event that I probably would ask council if they could just to take a quick voice vote to approve.
It's made out from Brumman Wheel Enterprises LLC to the Village of Shawnee Hills for $6,200, and it was the amount raised for the K9 fund. It was from the fundraiser.
So that puts our, thank you. That puts our account, I probably need to vote, sorry.
Yeah.
Second. Second.
Do we need a second for the? Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we enter this into the record and that
Second.
we accept it.
We'll do a second.
All right, Gates,
Yes.
Eisner,
Yes.
LaRosa,
Yes.
Batchor,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
Thank you. So with that donation and what we already have in the K9 fund, that pays to the first 12 months worth of the payments, and that puts us into when we were planning next year, when we were planning on replacing the car anyways. So that's all I have on that. Any questions about that or the car or the current state of the 2016 Cruiser?
You know, we always, you and I've talked about this. We always talk about, you always say mileage. And you always say, 100,000 miles on the cruiser. And I know when we took the first cruiser, the brand new one, I was over there one day with Zach, and he looked at it and it had 240 miles on it, all right? But it had 30 hours on the motor already. So we got to look at it. If people are out there thinking, well, it only has 100,000 miles on it, they need to look at the whole picture of the running of the vehicle. So 240 miles on the odometer, it had 30 hours of runtime on it. So I just wanted to bring that up because you and I always talk about it a little bit, and people hear 100,000 and don't think that's much today. But when you add the hours on it, it gets in those 300s.
I think the guideline is one for every hour it idles, it's worth 24 road miles.
Yeah.
So you can sit and think a 7-year-old car, how many running 40, a minimum of 40 hours a week, how much idling the cars have.
I just wanted to bring that up for people that listen about it. So, thank you.
Anybody else on that?
We look at any other brands?
So I looked at Chevy. They're not taking orders right now, and there is nothing close. There's a silver Chevy in Kentucky. Durango, I found a black Durango, but it was the V8 Hemi, and we don't need that. Anything that we'd be saving on anything is going to get wrapped right back up in gas. So the Durango was also about $10,000 more. So this is what we have. It matches our current fleet. It's actually kind of a godsend that we found this car. And hats off to Par Public Safety for working with us on it and offering the car to us. Anything else on the car? I want to make sure I've answered questions and we're good. So then the last thing I have is we've kind of had an uptick of some criminal incidents between us and some neighboring agencies, and with summer kicking off and traffic and Riverside and Glick being a hot spot for accidents. We are planning a handful of criminal enforcement shifts targeting Glick Road, Riverside Drive, Dublin Road, that area, in the cooperation with the Highway Patrol. Obviously, we would be in our jurisdiction, the Highway Patrol would assist. So that's about all I have.
Any questions? No? All right, thank you, Russ. Sean, do you want to speak again?
I think I covered mostly what I wanted to say already, so that's all I really had to say. I just want to thank everyone that there is a process, that I was allowed to go ahead and go through with it, and that everybody really, that reached out to me in response to my questions. I appreciate that very much.
And thank you for the emails. Tony?
Well, I'm just here to support everything that John has already said and communicated to all. My name's Tony Hall. I live at 30 East Wilma, right on the front lines of that potential road. I do not like the idea of that road ever being built. I don't really think it's going to be built though, actually, because if you look at the engineer, Mr. Tebby, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I read his, when he weighed in on it, he said, I don't really see any problem vacating behind a certain portion, the western portion, just because of the sinkhole that's behind there, which is the worst of it's behind my house. So it would be problematic, probably from a cost standpoint. Is that what you're referring to? Just to build a road back there would be pretty much a challenge. And so that's my big argument right there. It would be too expensive, so let's get rid of it. But and the fact that he weighed in means something, and I hope you would consider vacating maybe just the left side of it. I know the whole thing might be problematic, but it seems like the area behind Swagman, Hall, and Simpson, the three houses on Wilma, are problematic. And so perhaps there's a compromise there. I don't know. But also I want to thank everybody that got back to me in my email for getting back to me. Appreciate that. Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right, communications. Well, I can say, threw it out there. Nobody wanted to take me up on it. Thursday at the Delaware County Health District meeting, fantastic. Fantastic. You guys missed it. So it was an hour of pure joy, I would say. So no, it was nice. I did get a chance to talk to Joe Garrett of Concord Township was up there. He was one of the trustees, and I talked to Gary Merrill, Delaware County Commissioner, mostly about Oklahoma Sooner softball, but I did talk to him. So, but that was nice. And then, as Russ mentioned, I did receive a letter granting us Tree City USA recognition for 2021, and our I guess awards and prizes are soon to follow. So, but that is April 16th at noon at the playground, right? Or at the park.
Yes.
All right, that's all I have. Rob.
No, just received a few more emails and stuff this week. I'm sorry if you did send me an email and I didn't get back to you. Had a bunch of things going on this week that precluded that, but we have received multiple things about zoning, as we always hear, and other building related issues. So, but we try to answer those, and I will answer them more timely if I can. So that's all I got.
All right, committee reports.
Finance met before our council meeting tonight, and Russ covered most of the large issues that we discussed. Shirley covered the Orange Township JED, and I guess they're estimating that in the third quarter of this year or the first quarter of next that we'll probably see some money coming our way. Also, she talked about that we're $40,000 ahead between the numbers and the RETA taxes of 2020 and 2022. That's through March. And they've also been looking at some Anthem quotes for more options with the health insurance for the employees. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, planning and zoning met on March 22nd. There was was well attended, a lot of participation from the community. That was the Miranda proposal for, their initial proposal was for 35 homes in that nearly 10-acre parcel in the northwest corner of the village. The end result at the end of the meeting, it was tabled for more information. And I don't believe we've heard anything from Miranda since then. So that's where it stands right now.
And due to scheduling, so it won't be.
Right.
It won't be April, the
Yes.
next possible time to meet would be May.
May,
for
the end
them,
of
so
the
give
May
them some
planning.
time. Any other committees? We'll get right into legislative actions. All right. The big one, third reading ordinance 08/2022, an ordinance vacating the unimproved East Eileen Drive right away. Any further questions or discussion on this?
Just discussion wise, I think it's important to indicate that while we certainly understand the request and the reasons why, I think it's kind of important to note that the village has had issues with vacating rights of way in the past where the village has found later that it needed a right of way that it had given up and sometimes had to buy that back. And where I can see where it might seem logical that, you could vacate part of a street, not all of it. I think looking at where Eileen is, which is at the very northern end of the village, there's development around us. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. It's very likely that could be needed, that right away could be needed for water or sewer. And that obviously would take the entire length of Eileen as it stands right now. So I think that that it's not, at least in my opinion, those are negatives against vacating.
In our most recent project that we did that with was Oneida, which we owned. We had the right of way for the whole length and we used the whole length. And when you look at it, we had people that I had a neighbor, I lived on the back end of it, but had a neighbor had to take a shed down, had fencing that had to be removed, and had another shed that had to be relocated. So people have kind of eased into it, but it was an easement, so they had to uneasement. And I'm grateful we did own it. We did have the option to use it because it made everything that much easier. And everything's put back together. Everybody's mowing it, using it. So.
Anything else?
Well, I will say about the emails, I did get emails from you, I think both of you, and I was unable to reply to them. For some reason, when I send my emails, it goes straight to a draft. It's technical difficulty, so I do apologize you didn't get a response from me. I did respond, but you weren't receiving.
All right. Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 08/2022? Anyone?
You should, just for purposes of the record, you should probably have a motion and a second and then vote however you want to vote. I'm kind of sensing like no one wants to make a motion and then make a second. It'd probably be better to make the motion, second it, up or down. Yeah, vote it up or down.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Gates,
No.
Isaac,
No,
LaRosa,
Yes.
Thatcher,
No.
Zimmerman.
No.
We have a third reading, ordinance 09/2022. An ordinance to grant variances to the provisions of the Shawnee Hills Code, section 509.09, to allow applicant Shawnee Hills Chamber of Commerce to deviate from time and volume standards for the music in the village summer concerts. Any questions or comments on this? Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 09/2022?
So moved.
Second.
Gates,
Yes.
Isaac,
yes,
LaRosa,
Yes.
Thatcher,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
First reading ordinance 10-2022, an ordinance creating and establishing the part-time position of seasonal maintenance worker. Any questions on this? This will help Richard out greatly. All right, and then this is the additional resolution 03-2022, a resolution authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter into a contract with tax exempt leasing corp for a lease purchase agreement for a 2022 Ford Explorer Police Interceptor and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to skip the second and third reading and adopt, or what should I say, adopt resolution 03-2022?
No.
Huh?
I think what he meant to say, Shirley, is just why the motion to skip the second and third reading and declare
Yes, that's what I meant.
resolution 03-2022 an
I'm just
emergency.
trying to get through it, man.
I'm just helping out. I'm helping.
So what he said,
So moved.
Second,
Gates,
yes.
Isaac,
Yes,
Barosa,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
all right, a motion to adopt resolution 03-2022.
So moved,
second,
Gates,
yes.
Isaac,
yes,
Barosa,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, did anybody get the bills?
yes, they've been checked.
Yes.
All right. Do I have a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $21,637.44?
So moved.
Second,
Gates,
Yes.
Isaac,
yes,
Barosa,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, Shirley, treasurer's report?
Okay, General fund, 200,000, 965.74. Street fund, 269,733.92. State highways, 26,106.27. Law enforcement, 534.41. Indigent drivers, 385.84. Law enforcement trust, 6,068.88. American Rescue Plan, 20,298.75. Enforcement education, 1,245.85. Fire fund, 74,992.20. TIP, 58,580.57. TIP 2, 17,366.65. Police district fund, 98,993.65. Veterans Memorial, 248.97. Sewer operating, 43,528.16. Sewer replacement, 13,211.08. Storm sewer, 12,067.03. And debt service, 105,705.39, for a total of 1,049,033.36.
Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report as written?
So moved.
Second.
Gates,
Yes.
Isaac,
yes,
Barosa,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, any miscellaneous business?
I forgot one. Just put it on everyone's radar, Chipper Day will be back this May. Waiting on an actual date, we'll put it out as soon as we can, but Chipper Day will be back this year.
All right. I want to commend too, I don't know if anybody saw on the way in, the arborvitae outside were windblown and balled over, and Richard's worked on that for the last week and a half. It looks much nicer now, it looks finished, so. So I commend him for good work. So, that is everything. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Didn't say.
Contract.